With over 10 years of Cardfight Vanguard experience, I've had the time to try and test every single Vanguard clan. Some are more unique than others, and some of them just aren't that lackluster to me. But in today's video, we're going to talk about my top 5 favorite clans from Cardfight Vanguard throughout my history with it. In the number 5 slot, I have Royal Paladin. Now, Royal Paladin was one of the first clans introduced to us in Cardfight Vanguard. I've had the opportunity to watch this clan grow from a small little seed to the big old tree that it is now. For Royal Paladin, I've enjoyed the simplicity of this clan. This clan is very simple. You get rear guards out to the board, you gain effects based off how many you have, you acquire power or other skills depending on how many rear guards you have, the grade of these rear guards, and you can do different things depending on what sort of build you want to go. If you want to go a more Vanguard-centric build, you can do something with the Blaster Blade cards, the Alfred cards, and play that sort of strategy if you're into the lore Blaster Blade and the archetype of that deck. Blaster Blade definitely is the figurehead of this clan, but it doesn't take over with the other decks that we have available as well. Jewel Knights is a very fast and aggressive clan. It always has been, whether it be in the V Premium era or the Limit Break era, and it's definitely unique too, so I've really enjoyed that. You have the Alfred, Blaster, Gancelot, essentially all Blaster Blade support deck. That's its own thing, its own genre entirely, and they're doing their own thing, but they're all doing it in a different unique way. You can have a more aggressive aggro build with Alfred using Blaster Blade support, or to rush hard with the grade 2 game really early. At one point they had their own grade 2 rush deck where you just stuck on Blaster Blade and got to do a bunch of unique and cool things. That was fun for a while. You have their ride chain decks that I've enjoyed playing, such as Galahad and Sanctuary of Light, and although these decks didn't get as much shine as the other decks did throughout the future of Vanguard, it is something that has stuck with me since I've been playing Vanguard for the longest time. Royal Paladin in Legion and in V is where it really got to shine for me. In Legion, I played the Seeker Planeteel Dragon deck, and I also played the Seeker Thing Saber Dragon deck. I enjoyed both playstyles of these decks, as one was more rearguard centric, one was more Vanguard centric, but I enjoyed how the deck operated, and you know, Seeker Thing Saber Dragon was a very popular deck at the time that won a few tournaments and got some tops with it. The Planeteel Dragon deck was on the cheaper end, as was one of those promo builds, but Royal Paladin overall has been a clan that I had the opportunity to learn with and grow from. And it definitely helped me open up my gates, or definitely improved my vision of how I thought of Vanguard as I was playing through it throughout the series. My favorite deck now in Royal Paladin is definitely Alt-Mile. I've enjoyed Alt-Mile throughout the G era, V era, and it holds a special place in my heart because when I was a teenager, one of my teammates used to play Alt-Mile on it. Alt-Mile and Royal Paladin just brings you back to that nostalgic feeling of Vanguard, of going back into the old days when Vanguard was much simpler, and I really do enjoy its growth and seeing how the clan has progressed. In the number 4 slot, we have Nova Grappler. Nova Grapplers, again like Royal Paladin, are one of the very few decks in the past that came out in the beginning. I've had the opportunity to play this deck since its growth. It was one of the cheapest decks you could get at the time. You had the multiple attack restanding strategy, very aggro build, and I just really enjoy it. I enjoy how Nova Grapplers has played throughout the entirety of its series. One of my favorite decks from Nova Grapplers of all time is Asura Kaisers and Beast Deities. Asura Kaiser now and Asura Kaiser back in Limit Break was fun, but I really had fun with Beast Deities in their Limit Break era and in G, as well as Asura Kaiser too. I have loved how Nova Grappler has become such a versatile clan. It's so simple, and what it wants to do is very simple as well, but everything in that deck or that clan is so generic that you can incorporate all the support into anything and give it a try, unless it's obviously archetype specific. Beast Deities, when Beast Deities got their support and they got everything they needed for their deck with Ethics Buster, I loved that deck. I played Ethics Buster throughout its full entirety, even when it got G support in its grade 4 form. Like I stated in my Disrespect video, if you guys haven't seen that yet, it'll be up here. But like I stated in my Disrespect video, Beast Deities were so simple. It was literally multi-attack and swing, and I loved that in a deck. It was just very simple. You had a bunch of different options to play with it and different Beast Deity cards to try, depending on how you wanted to build your deck, but you had the choice of becoming super aggro, playing Illuminal Dragon, playing Ethics Buster to get the multiple attacks off, Ethics Buster Extreme, to just do something so simple, which is play a very fast and aggro paced deck. And I've enjoyed that throughout the entirety of Nova Grappler series. Asura Kaiser is my favorite generic Nova Grappler Vanguard. I got into this because, and I could do a throwback video too, but I used to play Death Armies, and that was my backup grade 3, and Asura Kaiser is my first Nova Grappler grade 3 ever, and I just love experimenting with that deck. Taking the G Extreme Battler cards and the Asura Kaiser's Fighters Collection Stride and combining all that together with the Bear Down Daredevil Samurai support, bruh, it was so much fun to make like 54k columns before 54k columns were like the norm now. But it was so much fun to do that and do these like 10, 12 multi-attack strategies that your opponent could guard with or deal with, and I just had a lot of fun with that. Getting the grade 3s, getting the reveal just made the deck a lot more fun. It was a lot more RNG, and I just like that luck sacky type of feeling back in the day. Now, not so much. I don't like luck sacking unless it triggers obviously on my turn, but that back then when you're a kid and you're just looking for a fun, fast deck, Assured Kaiser just got the job done for me. That's why Assured Kaiser and BSDs always hold a special place in my heart. I love the new support they've gotten in recent years. I'm just glad they kept BSDs and Assured Kaiser in their thoughts and prayers while they were designing cards. I can't speak on where these decks stand in the meta because I haven't played them in a while, but they're decks that I'll always enjoy and I'll always give them another shot or a try. Nova Grappler as a whole is a clan I love and respect, and I really do hope that in the next V-Clan collection support we get, the clan will definitely get a star to bring it up to a tier. In the number 3 slot, we have Angel Feather. Now, Angel Feather, I've enjoyed this clan throughout its entirety for its artwork, for its play style, and how different it is from every other clan in this game. Manipulating the damage zone is something that is unique only to Angel Feathers. I know nowadays there's probably maybe like 1 or 2 cards per clan that can do something like this, but Angel Feather definitely takes the cake on it, and it really sticks to its roots. I've enjoyed playing Angel Feather in V more than I did back in the day. I think back in the day I played Shamseal and I played Metatron when those decks were really out. I also played Celestials in G. That was fun. I made an entire video about Celestials and how it was a deck that was a hidden contender if you weren't playing in the competitive scene, you were playing more casual. It definitely was like a top 5 casual deck for me personally, and one that I'm really glad to see got fully explored because I had so much fun with that deck at the time. When you're in high school and you don't have a lot of money, you build the decks that you can with the cards you have. And I had all the previous Celestial cards because they're really cheap to get, and getting those G support Celestial cards and being able to build that deck up was really fun for me and I really enjoyed it. Gavrael was also my first love in the G. Angel Feathers, that was a deck that I really wanted to buy. I had a friend who let me play test and play at the tournaments. I loved how Gavrael operated, and I loved the whole, extra layer of thinking that it takes to play that deck. G Gavrael was really hard to play. You had to think about triggers, rescue checks, and just keep and pay attention to everything. And I love decks that make me sit there and I think and I take notes and I really have to harden focus in like that. I love a deck that essentially is its own strategy game because it gives you that extra feeling of, I know it's gonna sound a little narcissistic, but that deck gives you that extra feeling of superiority because no one will know that deck better than you when you're playing it because you've spent so much time and invested so much time learning into it, but versus like any other deck you'll play at that time. Malkuth Melik is my favorite Angel Feather deck. I've made multiple videos on Malkuth Melik on this channel. I've talked about Malkuth Melik being a top tier deck in the future on Vanguardian's group chat. I love that deck. I love its aesthetic. I love the robots. I love the angel theme with it. I just love the whole theme around Malkuth Melik and its lore as well too. Angel Feather is top 3. Love this clan. I just can't wait to see what future support it'll get for V in the future. Number 2 on this list is Great Nature. Now, Great Nature isn't a clan that I've featured much on my channel. I haven't done too many Great Nature profiles. I think I made a video on the hamsters a long time ago, and I've made Polaris recently, but Great Nature back in G with Big Belly was so much fun. Oh my god. When Solemn Vanguard first came out and he started making his videos on Great Nature and things like that, I just loved listening to him describe the clan, how much passion he has for the clan, and it really got me into it. My favorite deck from Great Nature back in the day, in Limit Break, it was Locks. In G, it was Big Belly, and then they gave Honorary Professor Shatnor more support. And one of my teammates back in the day played Great Nature, so again, this is another nostalgia thing for me. And V Great Nature has had a couple of bops, a couple of misses, but I've just enjoyed Great Nature throughout its entirety. I love the unique playstyle of it. I love the extra layer of thought that goes into this clan. Same thing I said about Angel Feather, you can basically say for Great Nature, but I also like the artwork and design of these cards. These cards are really cute looking. I like the beast type looking cards as well. And I enjoy the overall aesthetic and design of these cards for their playstyle. I think that Great Nature definitely has a lot of unexplored, untapped potential. I like the lottery system they have now, and I like the 4K system they had back in the day. I think that's really fun. For me personally though, I've just enjoyed the way that Great Nature looks, I enjoy the way it plays, and I enjoy hearing people talk about it and listening to more in-depth players of Great Nature play the deck. I enjoy everything about this clan. I love Great Nature. In the number 1 spot. Now, if you were following my channel since the beginning, you will know what the answer is to this. Kagero. I love everything Kagero. I will never talk bad about Kagero. I will talk about what Kagero needs. I will talk about what I wish to see more for Kagero. I will talk about my favorite clans and decks from Kageros, but you will never hear me disrespect Kagero. Despite people saying Kagero is Overlord the clan, and I definitely could see where it comes from, because Overlord does get 9 times out of 10 the best generic support or the best support for it. I just love everything Kagero related. I do feel as though Kagero, again, is one of those simple clans that has that simple aesthetic to it. And I just love dragons. When I played Yu-Gi-Oh!, I played Dragoonity. And that's how I got into Kagero as my first trial deck. And I got my first real deck with Blazing Flare Dragon, and I've loved that deck ever since. When they introduced Blazing Flare Dragon into V, I posted in Vanguardians how I was losing my mind. I was so excited. That means they're bringing back Blazing Core, Iron Tail, Gatling Claw. Like, we're gonna have our own riot chain, everything for Kagero, and it's gonna be this big generic thing. That wasn't the route that they went with it. I wish that they did, but they didn't. So that wasn't the route that they went with it, obviously, but I like everything else they did. I really do feel like Kagero has gotten like a lot of ups and downs in V, but I'm really happy with everything we've gotten. I feel like though we've gotten a bunch of unique decks for Kagero, and the clan has really stuck to what it wants to do. The cards are really powerful, they do different things, and I just love Kagero, and it's just been one of those decks that throughout my legacy of Vanguard, I've taken out with me, and I've won tournaments with it, I've run locals with it, I've won smaller like ARG events with it, and it's a deck that I've grown up with so much that I remember even previous old builds of Kagero. If you guys want me to do throwback videos on Kagero, I can do that, and I just remember sitting there and looking at all these cards, because Kagero is that clan I was able to get all the cards for, and it was the only clan that I wanted, and it really just gives me that nostalgia feeling of playing with my teammates, growing as a player, learning this card game. Kagero does all of that for me that no other deck does, and I will always put my heart in investing for the best Kagero and making the best Kagero deck that I can not only make for myself, but now present to you guys on the Prime Vanguard channel. I love the clan and I have mad respect for it. I just can't wait to see what future support Kagero gets in Dragon Empire and V-Clan collections, and even in Premium. You know, I'm looking towards Premium to make a better Kagero build, and I will think you guys will be pretty surprised for the list that I made, but overall, I'm very happy with the clan, what I have so far, and I just love the direction they're going for it. Now, 10 years, I've obviously played more clans. There are other clans that I like as well, and while there are some honorable mentions that I could bring up, this is a top 5 list. Now, I'm very curious here, what are your top 5? What are your top 5 clans that you guys like? Top 5 decks, top 5 nations, things of that nature. Well, you can't say top 5 nations because there's only 5 to 6, but top 5, you know, decks and clans you guys enjoyed. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. Please tell me down in the comment section below. I'd like to get a dialogue going. Without further ado, you guys, though, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for staying tuned throughout the entirety of this video. Again, if you guys enjoy this content, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the channel. It really does help the channel grow. I'll see you soon. Peace.